Hi, my dear friends. So, breathing a lot in the last few days has actually confirmed what we know about nitric oxide, and there's a growing evidence that it could play a crucial role in fighting coronavirus at this point. As we know, coronavirus causes the respiratory disease at the smallest level in the lungs, where alveoli get really attacked. And that's where the nitric oxide comes in place. So the proper breathing, the nasal breathing, especially Buteyko breathing method, I think can really help all of us and our friends and families, of course. So if you don't mind, I would like to go step by step through how to actually exercise our daily nasal breathing that can help us not only in purifying the air, getting rid of all the germs, viruses, bacteria, allergens also. It can actually bring the oxygen levels where it's needed, especially in the patients who do have hard time breathing, and it is difficult times where coronavirus is causing a lot of issues with the lungs. Let me back off if you decide to share this with your friends and family. Let's talk about nitric oxide a little bit. It is made in the nose. The largest amounts are made in the nose. Some of it is made in the lower respiratory system, but the main parts of it are made in the nose in structure that's called paranasal sinus. The paranasal sinus is housed in the nose, and it's made out of 4 little holes, little sinuses. So when we breathe through the nose, especially when we breathe nicely and slowly, the slower your breaths, the more of nitric oxide you can make. So I will suggest you breathe about 6 seconds in, nice and slow. You make a pause of a second, and then you exhale through your nose for about 6, 7, 8 seconds if possible. While you're exhaling, if you also start humming, it's going to quadruple the amount of nitric oxide you can make in your nose. And with that, you can actually sterilize the air that comes into your nose. But most importantly, you're going to open up the blood vessels. The nitric oxide is a vasodilator, meaning it opens up the blood vessels. So the blood flow is much better throughout the whole body. The hemoglobin, which actually carries the oxygen to the body, to the parts of our body, can reach every single part of our body. And with that, all of our organs will have enough supply of oxygen, especially our little alveoli in our lungs. For those of you who experience cold feet and cold fingertips, the oxygenation in your body is not right. You can really benefit from this type of breathing. So, what are we supposed to do? You breathe a small breath of air through your nose, and this is going to cause a shortage of air. You might feel suffocated at first, but it's going to help over time. So, we are going to take a small breath of air through the nose, let's say about 6 seconds. We're going to make a pause, exhale, try to do humming while you exhale. We're going to pinch our nose, and we're going to hold our breath. I would love all of you to time yourself. It'll be great if we can all be at 20 seconds on the first try, but don't get discouraged. I've had patients who cannot hold the breath more than 10 seconds, 7, 8 seconds even. But then they try, and they can get to 20. I would love all of us to be at the end of this week at 40 seconds. I've had patients who can do it for a minute. I have a particular one who did it for 2 minutes. Freaked me out. But hey, whatever works, as long as we can get it over 20 in the first try and 40 at the end of this week. We're all different, so we're all gonna have different results. So let's do this. Here we go. Small breath in through the nose. Make sure you do that with your diaphragm, not with your lungs. What happens is the diaphragm sits just below the lungs, and when you breathe with your diaphragm, it actually lifts the air from the bottom of the lungs, and then the air, the oxygen, is much better dispersed throughout the whole lungs, and then it goes farther away, as we all know. So, small breath through the nose. Pause, second. Small breath out through the nose. Count to about 6, 7, 8 if possible, and hum. Tongue is suctioned to the roof of the mouth. We are maintaining a millimeter of space between our teeth. We're keeping our lips closed. And if you can, listen to a nice, relaxing music. Hopefully your phone won't ring in the background. So here we go. I'll do that now without talking. What is extremely important, once you unpinch your nose to get that air in, you actually just created a lot of nitric oxide in your nose. And you need to inhale that. Make sure once you unpinch, you don't let go. Get it in. You are gonna experience a lot of saliva come through in your mouth. That's your fight or flight, right? So if you are relaxed and you breathe through your nose, your body is gonna sense, oh, I'm good. I'm relaxed. I'm gonna produce some saliva. And that's where is that coming from? Your sympathetic and parasympathetic. Also, you are gonna experience a rise in temperature. Don't freak out. It's because you're bringing oxygen to every single part of your body. And that is gonna raise your temperature, especially in your fingertips, in your feet, and your cheeks are gonna get rosy. The blood is gonna be well dispersed throughout the body. All right, so I'm gonna ask all of you, if you want to do it 6 times in a setting. And time yourself. See how well you can do it. In the middle of this, maybe 3rd or 4th time, the number might go down. Don't get discouraged. It'll go back up by your 5th or 6th try. You are gonna feel how much better you're gonna start to breathe through your nose. You are gonna feel a nice rush of air come down your throat. Once you breathe again. That's because you just opened everything up. For those of you who frequently get sinus infections, colds, I would strongly encourage you to do this every day, 6 times in a setting, 6 times a day. The 6th time, you should really do this before you go to bed, to open up all the airways, to bring the oxygen to every single part of your body. tape your lips, breathe through your nose. You're gonna have an awesome night's sleep. And sleep is another story. You might get to that some other time. But let's start with this, because as we all know, airways, nasal breathing is the king. Can't do anything else if you cannot breathe through your nose. In this situation where we're at right now, this might save lives. It will definitely make us go through this much easier. And for those of us who get sick, it's gonna make it much easier to go through. All right, love you guys. Some of you I'll see tomorrow. And we'll continue this if you like me to. Bye now.